Hey, my name is Jen, and I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you specifically about the important role of the Nebraska Community Blood Bank and the value of the Community Impact Fund. So, let me first start off by telling you that about one in every seven people who enters the hospital will need blood. And the Nebraska Community Blood Bank is the blood bank that serves all of southeastern Nebraska, which is more than 20 hospitals. So, I think I'm just going to tell you my story and I'm pretty sure you'll see why I feel so passionately about this campaign. In February of 2015, I was diagnosed with stage 3 bilateral breast cancer. I went through 20 weeks of chemotherapy, followed by a double mastectomy, and then followed by 33 sessions of radiation. Now, about halfway through my chemo regimen, when I thought I was simply experiencing a few more side effects of the chemo, my doctor told me that actually those were signs that I needed a blood transfusion. Now, since chemo doesn't really pinpoint and kill only the cancer cells, it's also wiping out your red and white blood cells and platelets. And over the course of the 5 months that it took for me to complete my chemotherapy, um, on two different occasions, instead of going and receiving chemo, I was actually sent to the hospital for a blood transfusion. Now, luckily for me, the Nebraska Community Blood Bank had my blood type on hand and could deliver it to me at the hospital within a matter of hours. And because I was able to get those transfusions immediately, my body could start to recover that much quicker, which allowed me to get back on schedule with chemo. Now, the scary part of all of this is that my cancer cells were growing and dividing at a rate of 82%. If I would have had to wait for that blood and delay a transfusion, that would have meant even further delaying my chemo treatments. So, in all, for just me alone, it probably took 5 donors from our community to meet my needs. Now, every week to meet the needs of this community, it takes about 1,000 donors. So, with more than 200 blood drives that have been canceled since March due to the pandemic, the Nebraska Community Blood Bank is working even harder to reach out to donors, asking them to come into the donor centers in Lincoln and Omaha and to connect those donors with recipients. But it's actually more than just blood donors. It also takes monetary donations to keep this work moving forward, especially during a pandemic. So the Nebraska Community Blood Bank is relying on the generosity of this community to be able to purchase new lab equipment, maintain existing lab equipment, and to continue making those connections between donors and recipients. Now, the Nebraska Community Blood Bank has also been working really hard to disseminate important information about the collection of convalescent plasma from recovered COVID-19 patients to help with those who are currently hospitalized. This is an experimental treatment that's happening nationwide, but the Nebraska Community Blood Bank is really excited to be a part of. But again, disseminating that information takes time and effort, and that needs some donations from this community. Now, reaching the 2020 campaign goal is so very important. I know that people are struggling in all kinds of ways through this pandemic, but I really believe in the work being done through this combined campaign, and I believe in this community. Your donations are just one way that we can all come together and take care of each other. No donation is too small. Lots of small contributions can really add up to make such a big difference. The Community Impact Fund supports over 60 different agencies, including the Nebraska Community Blood Bank. So, if there is just one person like me who has benefited from each of these agencies, that's over 60 of your neighbors' lives that you will have had a direct impact on through your donations. So, when you make your donation, I hope you consider the Community Impact Fund because it will make a difference. I promise you, I am proof that these donations make a difference in our community. Thank you so much.